The 8 most terrifying moments of World War II. The Blitz? Imagine this. It's late at night. The city is quiet. And then a siren cuts through everything. Not a normal sound, but one people learn to fear instantly. Within minutes, the sky fills with the sound of engines. German bombers flying overhead, almost invisible in the dark. Then the first explosion hits. The ground shakes. Windows shatter. And suddenly it doesn't stop. Bomb after bomb falling across the city. Families grab whatever they can and run. Some head to underground stations packed with thousands of others. Children crying. People sitting in silence, waiting, not knowing if their home, their street, even their entire neighborhood is still there. Above ground, fires spread quickly. Entire rows of houses collapse. And sometimes rescue teams couldn't even reach people trapped inside. By morning, the bombing stops. People slowly come back up. And what they see is something they can't recognize anymore. Roads blocked with rubble. Buildings gone. Smoke still rising into the air. And for many, there's only one question left. Where do we go now? Battle of Stalingrad. Stalingrad didn't look like a city anymore. It looked like something already destroyed before the fighting even ended. Buildings were reduced to broken shells. Streets covered in debris and bodies. And then came the winter. Temperatures dropped so low that even standing still for too long could kill you. Soldiers wrapped whatever they could around their hands, but it wasn't enough. Fingers froze. Faces went numb. Weapons jammed from the cold. Some soldiers were sent into battle with almost nothing, no proper gear, sometimes not even a rifle. They were told to follow others and take weapons from those who fell. Inside the ruins, fighting happened room by room. One floor controlled by one side, the next floor by the other. No clear lines. No safe place. Food ran out quickly. Hunger and exhaustion became constant. And slowly, survival stopped feeling possible. By the time it ended, the city was almost completely destroyed, and over 1 million people were gone, not across the war, but in this one place alone. Unit 731. Far away from the main battles, there was a place most people didn't even know existed, Unit 731. From the outside, it looked like a normal military facility, but inside something very different was happening. Prisoners were brought in, often without explanation. They were not treated as people. They were treated as test subjects. Experiments were carried out to study diseases, injuries, and survival limits. Some were exposed to extreme cold just to see how long the human body could last. Others were infected with illnesses deliberately. There was no intention to help them, only to observe and record. Many of these experiments happened while the victims were still alive. And there was no escape, no outside world watching, no one coming to stop it. Even after the war ended, much of what happened there stayed hidden for years. And even today, the full extent of it is still not completely known. Siege of Leningrad. The city was surrounded. No supplies coming in. No one leaving. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months, and still no relief. Food became the most valuable thing in the city. Rations kept getting smaller. A piece of bread, barely enough to survive a day, had to be stretched as far as possible. People started mixing it with anything they could find, even sawdust. As hunger grew, the city changed. Shops emptied. Streets became quieter. People didn't have the energy to move. Winter made everything worse. Freezing temperatures, no heating, no electricity. Some families stayed in their homes, unable to leave. Others collapsed in the streets. Over time, survival pushed people to extremes. Things that once felt unthinkable slowly became reality. By the end of the siege, over 1 million civilians had died, not from fighting, but from hunger, cold, and isolation. Battle of the Atlantic. The ocean looks empty, But during the war it was anything but safe. Ships traveled in long lines carrying supplies across the Atlantic. Food, equipment, fuel, everything needed to keep the war going. But beneath the surface, submarines were waiting, watching, tracking movement, waiting for the right moment. When a torpedo was launched, there was almost no warning, just impact. An explosion tearing through the ship. Lights going out instantly. Water rushing in faster than anyone could react. Sailors scrambled in the dark trying to find a way out. Some made it to lifeboats. Others didn't make it at all. And even for those who escaped, the danger wasn't over. Cold water, no land in sight, and the possibility that no one would come. Firebombing of Tokyo. The attack didn't start with a single explosion. It started slowly, and then everything changed at once. Bombers flew over Tokyo, dropping incendiary bombs designed not just to destroy, but to burn. Fires began in multiple places at the same time, and quickly they spread. Wooden buildings caught instantly. Streets filled with smoke. People ran, trying to escape the flames, but the heat kept growing, so intense it created powerful winds, pulling oxygen and feeding the fire even more. Entire neighborhoods were surrounded. Escape routes disappeared. And in a matter of hours, huge parts of the city were gone. By the end of the night, around 100,000 people had died in a single air raid. Atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. By 1945, the war had already caused massive destruction, but nothing like this. In Hiroshima, people were going about their mourning. Then a flash, brighter than anything they had ever seen. In an instant, buildings were destroyed. Shockwaves tore through the city. People close to the center didn't have time to react. Further away, survivors faced something new: burns, injuries, and an invisible danger: radiation. In the days that followed, more people began to fall sick, even those who had seemed unharmed. Then just days later, it happened again in Nagasaki, a second bomb, a second city destroyed. And in that moment, the world realized warfare had changed forever. Subscribe if you enjoyed this video.